In these life-serving podcasts, Bhashkar Perinchery answers questions from everyone seeking pragmatic and effective solutions regarding emotional and energetic challenges, holistic health, and the inner journey.
Anything keeping you busy that you would bring it up as a question, or anything which you would like to express or share, anything which is helping you to get clear, anything which is enabling you to confront issues which are undercurrently blocking your energy flow. This is one possibility. Yeah.
This is nothing new. I face moments in my life that I feel life is falling apart, and I'm always trying to get back the pieces and not managing, not succeeding, and especially because what is changing in my life, I'm giving too much importance. And in certain moments maybe even above myself, and it's difficult to put in perspective in those situations and to watch myself in those situations, because the lead of the focus is given away, most likely because I give even more importance than myself to that thing, and so it's difficult to watch it. It's difficult to try. Yeah. And the worst of the moment is when you maybe don't manage and you end up not having any more much energy, because when you lack of energy, then it's very difficult, because the surrounding needs to be supported from my side too, from family or bureaucratic stuff to be done every day. So the duality is not easy to dance with it sometimes.
George Gurdjieff used to indicate with one expression, self-remembrance. It's helpful to consider that aspect, because it is not about even watching, it's not about even trying to change anything, it's not interfering or managing. It is just be in touch with the one who is experiencing it all in this moment. And try to get the emphasis of this. We are losing the life energy in the struggle. Not only when we are going with the negative emotions and going in a fight with ourselves, but also in trying to manage, trying to get it under grip. We are still identified. We are still caught in the idea of duality, caught in the idea that I am separate from the whole. Self-remembrance is touching this aspect in a careful way and says, be with that what is taking place in you in the given moment, without any interference, without identification. And the emphasis is not on focusing on what is going on, the emphasis is on being present, self-remembrance. It's a very helpful, subtly different indication for all those who are already working with these things, because you hear it from different perspectives, different angles. And this is one which is very close to the quality of presence, where you are, whatever is going on, restlessness, fear, helplessness, senselessness, anxiety. Notice it is all there. So you are not identifying yourself with the one who wants to control it, one who wants to manage it, one who wants to put the pieces together and have it in the grip so that it is business as usual. It is not an effort to come to a so-called normal state. And understand the difference, because when you have somewhere in the back of the mind how it is when it is normal and are trying to compare, then you are already in the conflict process. So J. Krishnamurti used to put it like this: the real conflict is between what is and what should be. What should be is a concept in our mind. It's part of the dreaming process, part of the identity which we hold to in this game of the world. He says, notice this conflict, what you are carrying as expectation, as the ideal state, as how it should be. Notice that working in you, and also be in touch with that what actually is. So you are not taking sides in this conflict. You are not trying to resolve the conflict. You are just being with both without taking sides. The indirect development through that is your life energy stays with yourself. You get more closer to your source. The moment you are identified in some way or the other, you are in the wheel of what is called samsara, the game of the world. There are storms and ups and downs, tsunamis and all kind of stuff. But when you are not identifying, you notice all these things which are happening, but at the same time, you are not trying to interfere. And this is very valuable that it comes into your consideration also. The third aspect I would like to bring your attention to is that what Jesus calls a little trust in the Creator, a little trust in life. That while you are being with all this, also remember you are part of the mystery, you are part of the wonder, you are part of that caring process which is supporting you to flower, to understand, to ripen, to manifest the best in you. Even though it is all not so visible when one is in entangled states, but the moment you notice that, oh, I've already taken sides, I'm already in the struggle, I'm already identified. The one who notices that is the way back to the moment. The moment you notice, oh, I'm already in the struggle, I'm already trying to manage, don't make a problem of it. Notice it. So in this way, without identifying with any aspect, without trying to change anything, without trying to hold or get rid of anything, you be in the middle of it all. And remember that this is not a strategy to get it under control. So, the concept in the back of the mind, oh, when I do all these things, then I have it in the grip. Then stay with the inner inquiry. And out of these some are bringing the attention to the very basic factors which are working in themselves, because the tendency of the mind, which is outward oriented, is always looking at the other. And unless you are observing how your mind process is taking place, you will not be able to smile about it. You see all the little mistakes, the little unsensibility in everybody else. And you can see how unconscious somebody can be. And you get upset, you get irritated, you get hurt, you want to punish the other and you want to do something. But the one thing what is happening in yourself, your unconscious pull into judgment, your unconscious way of following the automatic reaction process. As you bring your attention to let this also become conscious to you, it is starting to open a different way of being with the reality. Then sooner or later you will see that that is the quality of connecting to everything and everyone in life, because that means you are open to experience the reality. It is not something to make somebody special. No, the connection which you have to the inner friend, where you connect with a quality of sensibility, of sacredness, of respectfulness, enables you to understand that that is the quality I need to understand life and experience the reality the way it actually is. Otherwise, unconsciously, automatically, we are going on projecting through our past, through our conditioning. We are following our worldly, materialistic, dualistic way of categorizing, judging, labeling, holding to those standards and values in many, many subtle ways. So the deeper your perception becomes, the more clear it becomes to you that the knowledge is relative. The knowledge is not the truth. The way we judge, we don't see really what is. We are only projecting into the reality and on our subjective perception, categorizing. To see that is not comfortable, because then comes fear, panic reaction, and feeling that, oh, when I don't do like that, then I am lost. Everybody can do anything with me. I am kind of left to the mercy of everybody else, and I will look so foolish because I am not so successful oriented. I am not so trying to be proud and special and so-called self-confident, all that. So it is a very honest and deep way of connecting to reality through your sincerity. Sincerity in facing all that what is taking place in you. And that is what is required. That is why even though when I am initiating, many people think that, oh, this is not fitting to the modern situation. They say, oh, when you don't initiate people, then it will be less frightening to people to come near. I understand both the sides of the story, but still I initiate, because it is a very deep basis for understanding which is created through that. And it is not in understanding and agreeing with me in this logical, rational level. You may be agreeing with me blindly or you may be disagreeing with me blindly, but you are still caught up in your conditioned way of looking and projecting. But when your connection is beyond agreement and disagreement, into being in touch with what is all transpiring in yourself, your consciousness deepens. Your capacity to see and understand the reality becomes possible. Otherwise, you are not seeing and understanding reality. You are constantly judging and projecting through your past. So it is not easy for anyone unless you have somewhere come to observe the automatism working in you. Unless you have come in some way to see that going in the usual way of judging and labeling and competing and comparing, it is dragging you into misery. Once this has become your experiential state, then you are ready to risk more, because it all looks like a very risky process. Not that there is something to risk in that sense except your ego, except your blind beliefs. But yet, because you are identified with the ego and you are holding to all that what is around the ego, you find it also difficult just to relax, just to be. This is the meaning when it is said, understanding the nature of the reality, you relax. Understanding the nature of the reality, you become capable to experience the wonder, the divinity, the mystery that life is. Between the crying child and the joyous laughter in life, everything is playing. One who sees and accepts life in its totality is not putting oneself as superior or inferior. That is the meaning when it is said that those who are looking deeper are saying it is one reality. We are arising from that one source. Whether it is called Advaita, which is translated as non-dualistic basis of reality, or what is in the Islamic prayer where it says La ilaha illallah, that means there is nothing other than that one which is indicated as Allah. Or when Jesus says to people who are close to him that me, my Father and the Holy Spirit are one. In different ways it is indicated. But till you come to experience it yourself, it's all words and concepts. And words are not to be held on to. Words cannot give you the answer. Words can just help you to take small steps in the direction where you need to look, where you need to go. The real experience happens when you are inwardly quiet. That is why the expression choiceless awareness, the witnessing consciousness, mirror-like consciousness, all this comes as a reminder. It's not something to achieve and to manage. It is a direction to orient, to open up. So bring this quality of remembrance, which Guruji have called self-remembrance. And he puts it in this way: when you are crossing the street, just remember that I am crossing the street. It looks not so spectacular. It looks not so holy and spiritual. It looks so mundane. It looks almost like, what is that? But bring consciously this remembrance, and then you see how quickly we forget, how easily we get distracted, how from 1 second to another millisecond we are in some faraway journey of thoughts. So once you see that is the challenge, that is the area where the attention has to come, then you can see why this inner journey is so requiring such a persistence, perseverance, resilience. and patience, because you cannot manage it and you are not able to get it in the grip, and that is not the approach. It's not an effort to control and to prove that you are able to manage it. So let it all become more and more part of your deeper consideration. The last period I was using this expression, conscious reconsideration, and which in abbreviation I call it core. The core of the matter is conscious reconsideration, being with the moment, not following the words, the judgments and the reactions blindly, allowing yourself to be without being anybody in particular. And when you are not trapped in this idea to be somebody in particular, when you are not trying to define yourself, you are available to the truth. You become capable to experience that what is. And that is what makes all the difference. This is what is meant when it is said in the biblical teaching that seek the divine first and all else shall be given unto you. Because in experiencing the reality the way it is, all the misunderstandings, all the unclarities gets dissolved, all the questions get answered. So those who are insightful, those who are understanding has deepened, they don't try to explain you things to fill you with more knowledge. They remind you to look and allow the experience so that it is not just another explanation to keep you shut up and to engage you into some kind of another belief. So recognize the nature of this inner inquiry, and let me remind you this aspect that life is supporting a creative process, the source, whatever way one wants to call it, is supporting everybody without exception. Nobody is excluded. You may wonder how I can be so sure about it. It is not talking about somebody else, it is just seeing the nature of the reality the way it is. It is simply the fact that nothing is outside this source, outside this one basis of reality. That is why the deeper you go, the amazement, the fascination, the gratitude, the joy. But I don't want to speak so much about it because your mind wants to make from it a new goal, to achieve all that. No, don't make it a new goal. Let your goal, if you want to have a goal, be to be with the moment, to be wakeful. That is the core conscious reconsideration.
A lot more questions to be answered right after this. Welcome back. We continue with some more questions.
Any other question or anything in anyone who is participating from here or elsewhere? If nothing else is there, we stay with all what is for the next 20 minutes, inwardly wakeful, not identifying with any aspect, not interfering, not trying to change, not trying to hold, but with this quality of the mirror, which is mirroring everything which is in front of it, but at the same time not trying to manage anything with it. That is why this poetic indication is very valuable. With this quality of consciousness and inner wakefulness, with closed eyes, we sit the next 20 minutes.
You can stop the podcast and set a timer of 20 minutes and resume listening it right after that.